welcome to the start of another week. If you watched last week's vlog, you will see the chaos that was the delivery of all of our container of stuff, and the house just literally looks like stuff's exploded everywhere because it's just all over the shop, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. There's boxes, stuff, so we've got a lot of sorting to do. And you might think, well, why are you in the car? Well, we are in the car because we have made plans to go out for the day. Because that's what you do when you're here. You take a little bit more of a chilled, laid-back approach because I'm just going to deal with all the stuff next week.
Well, the fact of the matter is, we've been able to survive without any of the stuff whatsoever.
So it's all supplementary stuff to life, really.
So it's not anything we need to get out.
No.
About it's Christmas
Well,
stuff.
if you ask Jacob, he would disagree with you and say that you need to find his graphics card and put his PC together. Wouldn't you, Jacob? You would say that was a need.
Okay.
But, yeah. There isn't anything that we actually need. I mean, don't get me wrong. It just looks a mess and it makes you twitch because there's stuff everywhere. But, yeah. We wanted to celebrate today with these two because they're both at school. Finney's had another phenomenal week at school. He came home with his grades. I can't remember if I mentioned that in last week's vlog, but he's getting A's and B's in all of his work. So he's had a stellar week at school. And Jacob obviously went to school and did so well. So we figured, let's go out and have a lovely day out with friends as well, and utilise a little bargain purchase that we made. So we are off to SeaWorld today, and the reason being because we didn't have SeaWorld tickets until in the week, and that was one of our friends messaged us and said that they were still doing the discount on the annual passes for SeaWorld, and if you bought a top tier annual pass, it was discounted from over 500 quid. I think it was like 580 something, 84 I think, for the year at normal times.
Did you just say 580 quid?
I did, $580. Sorry.
Bucks.
Yeah, books.
Say bucks.
Books.
That's quid slang.
Yeah, $580, and they were reduced down to, was it 368 each? Something like that. So there was definitely like a good $150 off the price tag. And the top tier one gets you obviously your parking's included, you're close to the front for parking, and you get all of the good stuff, the photo key for a year and all that jazz. But not just that, you get per top tier annual pass, you get 8 free friend and family tickets a year as well. So we bought 2 of those annual passes, which means we've got 16 free tickets basically, and that means that as a family, for only having bought 2 annual passes, we can visit 8 times across the year, and we get all of the top tier discounts as well. So, I think you get 20% off stuff and that. And in SeaWorld, the food, the merch, everything there is horrendously expensive. Even more so than Disney, which may shock you. And the food is certainly not a good quality food that we've had. Some of the items we had during the festival.
And it's all in the festivals, I think.
Yeah, that was okay. But generally speaking, they're quick serve restaurants. All up to much.
Well, they've got a Chick-fil-A.
And
Chick-fil-A inside. And for a meal there, so a meal in regular Chick-fil-A is like maybe $11.
Yeah.
Like maybe 12 worst case. Whatever sandwich you have, fries, waffle fries and a drink. Here, I think it was 23.
Yeah, and you had to buy it all individually. You couldn't buy
fries were $5 on their own.
No, there were more than that. There were like 9.
Oh, were that? Oh, that's why we didn't buy them.
Yeah, that's why
I
we
wouldn't
didn't
have bought
buy
them at
anything.
5, but
Yeah.
they're so at 9.
Yeah. You bought the sandwich, which was like the price of a meal, outside of the park,
Yeah.
if you remember.
Yeah. Because Jacob wanted one, didn't he? And I was like, dude, we're literally,
we'll literally drive to Chick-fil-A.
In fact, that was when you first drove.
It was.
Because we drove from SeaWorld to Chick-fil-A.
We did. So yeah, anyway, that's us rambling about that bit about SeaWorld. But obviously, the kids, Finley loves all the sea theme stuff. Jacob loves the coasters. Finley is now tall enough to ride all of the coasters that he couldn't ride when we were here last April. So we're off to have a fun family day at SeaWorld. So you can come along with us for today. And we'll get more into the unpacking next week. Because when the sun's shining and the weather is glorious this weekend, it would be a waste to stay in and unpack boxes when from Monday we're getting another cold spell. So that sounds like a good day to be unpacking. Yeah.
Don't think we've got this cold stuff for much longer though.
No. It'll start, yeah.
But
to be honest, to anybody else, anywhere else in America, I hope you are all okay and you are safe, because this winter storm that is coming across a big part of America this weekend, you know, they're talking about it being the worst winter storm that they've ever had in history.
Cold and horrendous amounts of snow.
Yeah. One of our friends, her husband is in Washington and it is minus 40, you know. So I am very grateful that today is going to be 25, 26 degrees. And Florida is not getting hit by this winter storm. But looking at weather reports, they were talking about like 18 inches of snow. There was something that they were calling thunder ice, which is basically when you can have a thunderstorm with thunder and lightning, but instead of rain falling, literally frozen rain falls. So there's like, yeah.
I'd like to clarify something as well. 25, 26 degrees, people, is sea. It's more like 77 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, sorry, I'm still working in English. I need to convert. I do a terrible
Just
job.
do both. 25, 26, 77.
Yeah, I know, but I actually don't know what it is. If I say 25 degrees, I've got no clue what that is in Fahrenheit. I know, but you tell me the calculation every time.
Double it and add 32.
But my mental arithmetic is not that quick.
It's not that difficult. 25 plus 25 is 50, plus 32 is 82.
Look, we've established as parents, we're good because we're good for different things. You do the math, I do the English.
I can do English as well, then. Yeah.
Haven't we, Jacob? We've established this. Balance. That's what it's all about. So, yeah. Anyway, I've lost track of what I was saying, which was basically I hope everybody's safe anyway in this winter storm. We will catch up with you when we get to SeaWorld. Now's the time, Finn. Turn around, let me see your face. Oh my God, that's it. You are in, buddy.
First step.
Yep.
Second step.
Yep.
Third step.
Yep.
Fourth step.
Yep.
Fifth step.
You don't need to stand on your tiptoes, do you? You're in.
Buddy.
It is a busy day in here today. We're going to go find somewhere a little bit quieter because it is super busy. There you go, Finn. Let's watch it come past then.
Wait, is Jessie coming or not?
Huh?
Is Jessie coming?
So we've just come into the aquarium next to Manta while we wait for everybody else to kind of get in and get here. And we're just looking at all of the underwater sea life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's an octopus here. It's hiding in that tube.
Oh, there he is. The baby scarlet hammerhead's still here.
Orca counter!
So we haven't recorded a lot today because we've been having just such a fun day with everyone. We're now going to ride Penguin Trek. A very good morning and happy Monday from Mark and I in Animal Kingdom. Both boys are at school today. Jacob's gone in for like the start of his first full week. Finley, as we already know, is already off flying. So we are taking the opportunity to have a bit of a date day.
Work date day.
Work date day.
Because I'm still working in the process.
Although technically if you guys are here as well, it's not a real date day. We're going to go and grab a coffee and just enjoy a little wander around peaceful, or perhaps not quite so peaceful, Animal Kingdom, as it's a little bit busier than I was expecting it to be for a Monday morning. But anyway, we don't care because we're not necessarily here to, you know, blast out all the rides. We're just here to have a coffee and enjoy a wander.
Do you reckon we can get on flights of passage?
I don't know.
We're gonna do
I don't care if we do or we don't.
Do anything
to be honest, safari is the one thing that I wanted to really do today, because we've been here and done Flight of Passage. We have yet to go on the safari. Plans for a cheeky ride on the safari have been thwarted by a 45-minute wait time, and we've not really got long here in the park. Maybe only 2 hours. Yeah. So instead, we're going to do what this park really is all about and go and see the animals. So first stop is the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. And so we're going to have a wander around and go and see what we can find. Just saying to Mark, as we were looking at the okapi back there, it makes me think of when the kids were little, or perhaps more Jacob than anything. He used to love the Lion Guard, and there was this one episode where Veshti the hippo made friends with an okapi. What a way to take a walk in nature.
Oh, it's terrible. Horrendous day.
I know. I was just saying to Mark before we walked in here that it has been years since we've walked around here. Can't even remember, besides tigers, what other animals they've got in this bit.
Dragons, apparently.
We have dragons. Wrong park.
We've got dragons.
Technically, they do have a dragon. How much is it?
$100.
Well, that's not too bad. I guess it's getting it home for anybody that's coming here. Now, if you saw our mug cupboard the other day, you know I don't need any more mugs. But
No.
you've always got to come and have a look. See what new mugs there are.
You can
And
look.
whether there's one that you do really need.
No, there's no such thing as
I mean,
need.
look at that Hey Hey one. That's funny. Going through life like Hey Hey.
Banging my head against the brick wall or something.
And it's got a cute little Who-Out stirring spoon too. Loving this t-shirt collection.
Okay, that makes me fun.
$29 each when you buy two, or $32.99 each. Also love that map one. That's cool. I absolutely love this collection over here, but just question whether I'm too old to wear it. It's so cute. This like collegiate one. That skirt is so cute. So is that cardigan. And the jacket with the frill collar on the back, look. And it's made out of the proper, like, varsity material. This seems to be very much the new range this year. With this kind of like 4-park design on it. It's everywhere. It's what?
It's like a simple.
Yeah, it's nice. It's quite retro looking, isn't it? Yeah, so you're seeing this everywhere. Look, they've got the hoodie over there and the ears. It's nice. Very retro. Well, it depends that's not one of the other t-shirts. How much is that one? No prices on it, as usual. No prices. I've all got the price tag ripped off. I think they're doing dynamic pricing on merch now, depending on what day of the week or time of the year.
More just if you like it, if you see it and you like it,
Buy it, regardless of what it costs.
that's 75. So
Is
I
it?
reckon that's 35, 40.
Yeah, probably. About the hoodies. 70. So yeah. That was a lovely couple of hours. Just strolling around. Clocked up 7,000 steps. Not too bad. But obviously it was a very slow walking pace. And the intensity needs to be increased. But either way, we didn't get to eat at Rainforest Cafe because there was no seat at the bar. And we've plugged in Jacob's school into the sat-nav, and we've not got time to go anywhere else to eat that's going to like require sitting down. So we're going to have a look at what quick serve options there are on the way back. I don't want anything fried, that's for sure. As whole foody as possible. I'm not quite sure how achievable that is going to be. Anyway. Oh, we're having a day lunch at Publix, and we're going to get a pub sub, basically. Nice, quick, easy idea. And not as expensive as what it would have been had we have gone to the Rainforest Cafe. Let's face it.
This is also true.
So we're saving money. Hello and happy Tuesday. So Mark and I left you after we went to Animal Kingdom yesterday, and then we didn't really vlog anything the rest of the afternoon. Just got the kids and came home. Now I did empty some of the boxes, and I realised that I haven't actually vlogged a lot of us emptying stuff because, to be fair, we've just been getting on with it. But we do have furniture here now. In our room now, I need to have a mess around with it because I'm not happy with the layout. But we've got the chair and that chair that were in our lounge up in here. And then clothes. Oh my goodness, guys. Like, me and Mark need to have a real serious, like, wardrobe sort out. I've got some shoe storage being delivered in a bit, so I'll be able to share, like, putting that together and tidying the shoes up with you all later. But we've got so much stuff. And you know when you don't realise just how much stuff you've got? Because it's never all collated in one place. Because I don't know if you guys are like we used to be, but a lot of our holiday stuff was just in the suitcases and would only ever come out when we were going on holiday. And everything else that we wore day to day in the UK, because you know as well as I do, weather for summer clothes is minimal. But now we've got everything laid out, there's a lot of stuff. And as you can see with the fleecy jumper today, It is quite apparent that January in Florida means you need a full year's weather-wise of clothes for 1 month. But this is where we're at. So yeah, so far we have basically filled the entire wardrobe. There is another bag of shoes there of Mark's. There are another 2 boxes of clothes there, which are Mark's. And then I've got these shoes here, plus those 2 bags as well. Another 2 handbags, which now need to go up here. So yeah, we're working on it. I'm kind of flitting from room to room a bit at the minute, which I know isn't helping me achieve a lot. But so my next room, because to be fair, until the shoe storage comes, I'm not even touching that. And plus, we need new coat hangers, more coat hangers for that box that's arrived there. So let's just leave this room be a minute. So the next room I'm tackling is the guest room. So our furniture is in here, as you can see. So this is what was our room. So I'm going to give the mattress a good vac over. We've got 1,000,001 pillows. I don't know why we've ended up with so many, but we did. And then I'm going to put the bed in on the bed and try to get it looking a whole lot prettier in here. But this is the bedding for that bed. So look, it'll go nicely, nice and tropical and bright, which is really nice for that room because it's such a bright and sunny room. But even though it's been in the tumble dryer with a view to the fact that it wouldn't need an iron on it, it is so big in the tumble dryer that it still needs some of these creases steaming out. So I have plugged my iron in down here, and I've got the quilt draped over the banister, and I'm planning to just kind of steam it on there like that. Let's hope that gets some of these sort of like bigger creases out. Right, now I've vacuumed off the bed, I've just said to Mark, I think we need to flip the bed round the other way because we gain like an extra 4 inches on that wall by the door, which means it'll be long enough to put the bed sides and the bed properly without having a bit of overhang this way. So yeah, he's overjoyed. I'm going to make him move it, or at least try it anyway. Feel really happy. I've got the guest room kind of looking how I wanted. I hope you kind of see where I'm going with this, but if you're coming on holiday here, you want to feel tropical, don't you? You want to feel like you're in a tropical vibe, like you're on holiday, like everything's bright and colourful, and so this is where my vision was at for this. I'm missing a few things which I do need to get, and there are a few things that we need to be able to manoeuvre some of the other stuff elsewhere. But for now, I think you can get where I'm going with this. So then as you come in, we've swapped the bed over. Mark's got a telly being delivered, which will go here. But then obviously, we've got a fireworks view from this room. You could be, as a guest, lying in the bed with its nice tropical vibes, looking out. I've come to realise that I've actually got a bit of a thing about tropical birds as well. Now, for this wall over here, now because we're not going to have the TV there, we're going to have the TV on here. And these days, nobody really uses the aerial socket. So it'll be a smart TV, which will connect to the Wi-Fi anyway. So Mum was saying she'd really benefit from a full height mirror. So my thought process there is that I will get a full height mirror to go there, which means those sockets can then be used for my next idea. So yeah, it's single vanity and it's quite small. So when she wants to have like all of her makeup bits out and about, she can't really do it. So, and there's nowhere else in there for anything of that like. So what I've decided to do, and this is where we need some of the racking that's going in the garage, because we need to move the suitcases, or our suitcases, because right now they're all stored here. On the basis that we need to improvise and utilise furniture that we've brought over, and figured the console table out of the lounge with like a nice little highish stool could work as like a little dressing table. So I just need to get like a little stand-up dressing table mirror there. This wardrobe has, or dressing room, has its own window, so it lets a lot of natural light in. So we can get sort of like a nice-ish stool, stand-up mirror on there. The drawers can then be used for storing all of the makeup bits, but then you can use it for getting ready. But then they can bring the stool out round here, use the socket there with the full-length mirror for doing hair. Right, ladies, have I thought this through? Because I'm trying to think about this from a visiting relative perspective. I want them to feel at home. So what do you need? You need somewhere to be able to plug your straighteners in or your curling wand under your hair. So that's what that was about. You need somewhere to do your makeup. So that's what that's about. I've put a travel hairdryer in the vanity unit in there, so you can dry your hair in there or dry your hair down there, whichever. But then they've got, obviously, the bed. They've got a ceiling fan anyway, because that was in here. We've got storage under the bed. Obviously, the hanging space in the wardrobe and the two chesty drawers. Now, when you're on holiday, there's never enough storage space in a hotel, is there? So I've tried to make sure that there's plenty of storage space, lots of hanging space. Yeah, thinking it through. So, family and friends, if you are watching, the guest room is now ready to receive you. Okay, so it's evening time now, and school run and stuff is done. And I've sorted our room a little bit like I said I was going to. So I've switched things around a bit. So I've moved the mirror to this side and the chair, and then put the cuddle chair in that little gap between the two where it just fits nicely. And then we're going to put one of our paintings up on the wall there. So I'm like relatively happy with how that is looking. I think it looks a lot better, and it'll look even better when the picture's up, because that blank cream wall just looks like there's nothing there. So yeah, that will go there. Now to sort this shoe situation, because I've got my new I ordered them off Amazon. They weren't expensive. I think they were like $20, something like that, maybe somewhere between 20 or 30 bucks anyway. And I've got the two shoe racks. So I'm going to get these bad boys opened and build them. Boo's helping me. She's going to help me. I'm not cooking. We've ordered a Chick-fil-A. So we're having a Chick-fil-A Tuesday instead of, another night. But we haven't had a Chick-fil-A for ages, to be fair. But I've been just busy doing stuff. And, so Boo's anyway helping me. You're helping me get those boxes open, Boo. Are you? Yeah, look, my little saviour. She's keen to know what's going on inside there, isn't she? Let's figure out building these shoe racks. So here is the destructions. They're literally like a white metal thing, like the wire. I kind of figured they're not pretty looking, but on the basis that these closets have just wires in for hangers and they're not built out properly, this at least is going to look like it fits in here. After a little correction of a mistake made by me. So here it is. Let's get this in place and put some shoes on it and see how it looks. I've put my last few bags up there. And then down here then, I've got all my boots there and my heeled shoes that I wore New Year. And then all of my sandals, look, are fitting nicely on that there. So that has definitely tidied up all of the shoes on the bottom there on my side. So I just need to do the same thing on Mark's tomorrow. And then I've bought a sturdier rack for in the cupboard downstairs, the under the stairs cupboard. Well, my tornado shelter basically. And so I can tidy up all the toys that are just thrown on the floor in there so we can get that a bit more organised. So I think that looks loads better. I'm super happy. Feel like I've achieved something today. I've got that bit of the wardrobe sorted and put all my shoes out. And obviously the guest room is all done. So on to the next one tomorrow. Good morning and very happy Wednesday. Both kids are obviously packed off to school and I'm just sat here at home really. Well, sat. I've been doing obviously some bits of admin. What are you doing, boo-boo? And now I'm on to like a building project to tidy stuff up because obviously we're getting all of the stuff here and now we've got more stuff here than what we had before. So now we need new organisational things. And you saw me yesterday build the shoe storage for the dressing room, our dressing room. But today I'm building a shoe storage for this cupboard here, which is almost like a cupboard under the stairs. I'm going to get a sign for inside that says Sam's Tornado Shelter because it was on my list of things I wanted. Not that they get tornadoes very often, but you know, safety first and all that. But to go in our cupboard here, which is kind of like the shoe cupboard, come coat cupboard, come storage cupboard. So I've made a start and got the pieces out and opened up the destructions. Here, look. It's perhaps not as wide as I thought it was going to be, but given the fact that only really a few pairs of shoes should be in this cupboard at any one time, it should still be okay. And it will also give us like that, you know, that whole room shelf to be able to put keys and stuff on out the way. So, yeah, there we go. Watch me put this together. Let's hope I can get this one right first time, unlike the one yesterday where I ended up putting it together a bit wrong and needing to take it apart and put it back together again. So, let's see how this one goes. There we go. And that is the completed shoe rack. Now, to put it in there and tidy up the shoes. That's a lot better, look. Tidies everything up. Now I just need to get the vacuum that up, and then go and put these ones upstairs. Another little job done. Decided as a family, we're hopping in the car and we're going to go spend the evening in Epcot. Good evening and a very happy Thursday. I don't even know where the day has gone and I have achieved absolutely zero today apart from putting a couple of things out and about. It has been a day, but I do feel that that is a conversation for a different day because I haven't got the mental capacity to talk about it today. It's just challenging. Yeah, anyway. So I will probably do a bench talk about that at some point in time. Where that bench will be, I'm not sure right now, but there will be a bench talk. But anyway, in a bid to feel like I've actually achieved something with the unpacking and getting stuff sorted, I am multitasking cooking dinner, and I have come into our little odd room off the sort of hallway. This little room, which I'm guessing would ordinarily be like an office space, but for us, because there's two of us working in it, it's just not big enough because it's this. So yeah, it's just like this little square space. Now to me it would have made more sense for that to have been a downstairs toilet and that room over there to have probably had a bath, but on the basis that we're using it as an office, it's neither here nor there really, I suppose, but which is the reason why we're not that fussed about it. But I am going to turn this little room into like a little mini home gym, because we have sent over here some of our like little hand weights, like little exercise ball, yoga mat, stuff like that. And yeah, I figured I'd get some mirrors to go up on the wall. They're not yet though, they're in kind of like a basket saved for later, and like an organiser thing for all of the stuff. But we can put this out and turn it into like a little home gym. And I was thinking about doing it in the garage, on one end of the garage, but then we bought the kids that basketball thing, so that's kind of gone in there. And then ultimately, it's just going to be too hot in the garage come the summer. And yes, you could get a powerful fan, but you're never going to get the same benefit as having the aircon. So I'm not that big a person. I don't need a lot of space for doing weights, because after all, I'm not looking for a great big multi-gym situation. So I figured this could be a perfect little spot, because I could do like some yoga in here, some Pilates in here, just a few free weights, just some sort of body weight exercises. So yeah, this is going to be Sammy's little home gym. Marky may or may not use it, but he has bought himself a gym membership, because the things that he wants to do is just more challenging for him to do from home. But for me, around the kids and everything else, this will be perfect. So what I've bought and has been delivered right now is the following: gym matting, some proper like rubber top stuff. So there should be enough to do this space in here. So let's give it a whirl and see if we can get it down. Let's get a square out and see how easy this is going to actually be. And there's one thing Mark pointed out, I never checked as to whether they'd fit under the door. So that is the first test. Can we close the door on the matting? Oh yes, you beauty, look. Under the door. And it shuts. Woohoo! We're on to a winner right from the off. That's for sure. Okay, so far so good. Definitely got enough to fill out the whole of this room. The door opens and closes on it, which is the main thing. I just need to do some trimming now, because it's slightly too wide going that way, so it needs to be butted up against the skirting board in that direction. And then we'll have to cut down the ones that we've got left just to fill in those 3 gaps there. But otherwise, that is going to protect the tiles, make sure that we don't do any damage with the weights and things, and just make it a bit of a softer surface to work out on, because obviously these tiles are tiles and very hard. Right then, I better get this dinner done, get eating, and then I'm going to call it a night with you guys. And I know I've barely been on at all today, but I've got a little boy that needs to go to bed early, a big boy that also needs to go to bed early, and so I'll catch up with you again tomorrow for Friday and the last day of this week. Hello and happy Friday. It is now obviously the last day of this week for the vlog anyway, and I have spent the morning working. I have to school, drop-offs and stuff, and it is now just about, I say morning, it's 10 to 12. So I'm taking a break from work for a moment, and I turn the kettle on to make a cup of tea because Mark is currently switching me back over to my PC now, which is a relief for the vlogs anyway, because it'll process the vlogs faster, which means hopefully some of the delays will be fixed. So yeah, he's currently here, look. IT tech support. Setting up that there. So while he's getting me back online over there, I have come back into the little gym, and we ordered a new Stanley blade because the ones that we came over from the UK were no good. They weren't sharp enough anymore, and we couldn't get just blades for it. So we have a new Stanley blade. So now I can finish putting the matting down. So Mark had started scoring and trying to use the Stanley blades last night, but that wasn't happening. So yeah, I'd cut it off as to where he kind of scored it, and now I'm using it as a template for these two along here. Now, Belle needs to keep her nose out, otherwise she's going to lose it, and it's very long for her to keep sticking it on the floor where the knife's going to be. Hey, you like it there, don't you? Because there's a bit of sunshine coming through that window. Is there a bit of sunshine? Yeah. Cheeky little boo. Now, yesterday was a day. It was a day for a number of reasons. And I did say I was going to say that to you, and we might have a bit of a chat about it. So let's do that now, shall we? So the day started off relatively okay. Finlay was not having a great day, and he was feeling tired and a little bit under the weather. And some of his friends haven't been well. So rather than risk sending him and him being ill, we opted to keep him here at home. So we did that. So that was kind of how that yesterday started. And then everything else was going swimmingly. Jacob was feeling a little overwhelmed with things. Obviously, it's his first full week at school, and let's be real, he's struggling a little, which I suppose in some ways was a little bit inevitable. But he went in, we got in, he's been very brave in that sense, and then came home and was just doing stuff around the house. And I was trying to plug in the satellite speakers or no, that wasn't what I was doing. I was tidying up, and I decided to put the photo frame on the cocktail cabinet. So I was trying to find a UK to USA just, socket thing, because it operates at 110, so we didn't need to do anything for it other than plug it in. And I was on a hunt around the house trying to find them. And in that hunt, my little shadow was following me around the house. And because I was looking for something, it's not that I wasn't paying attention to it, because you know what I mean, but I wasn't keeping track of her because I was doing something. I wasn't specifically focused on Boo Boo. And unbeknownst to me, I went somewhere, she followed, and I hadn't realised she'd followed, and I shut the door behind me, which was the little wardrobe thing come cupboard in the office, and I had no clue she'd gone in there. So there I was, I carried on going around my business, what I was doing, tidying up, putting stuff out, and I didn't really notice that she wasn't there for about an hour and a half. And our realtor, the lovely Jess from the Pose group, turned up to visit us, see how we were getting off, and to drop us off a lovely little home gift. So thank you, Jess, if you end up watching. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate you. You've been a superstar. And so she popped in, and she got here. That was when we realised Belle was missing. And at that point in time, then you're trying to think, well, where was the last time I saw her at? And I couldn't remember. So we were running around the house, shouting her, boo, boo, where are you? And nothing. What's that? The nothing. No noise, no nothing. No. And then we're running outside shouting at her, and still nothing. And we're both like, if she was in the house, if she was close by, she'd be barking to let us know where she was. No. And then, so Mark ends up, I going round upstairs, opening all the cupboards, checking everywhere, and then Mark goes into the office and hears a teeny tiny little whine from this little monster in the cupboard. So we find her. We'd lost our own dog in the house. Yes, we'd lost her in the house. That's bonkers, isn't it? So that's that day. And then, as we're chatting with Jess and everything's going great, I get a phone call from Jacob's school to say he's having a really, really bad day, and chatting it through with the behavioural support, like ESC contact, opted the best thing to do was to go and fetch him and bring him home. So that's what I ended up doing. So yesterday was a day. Yeah, that's kind of as much as I've got to say about that, really. I really feel like I need this gym room doing, so that I can just put the yoga mat out, or the Pilates mat, whatever you want to call it, and find a bit of zen, a bit of breathing and a bit of just meditation type stuff, maybe. Not that I've ever given that a whirl, but maybe it's what I need in my life. And yeah, and I've also been looking at walking pads to put in here, so I can put that in here and I can come and run some of it off as well. And I'm thinking of that, I know, for the summer, because it's going to get hot. And obviously we've spoken about this aircon in here and all that jazz. But then I suppose one of the things somebody had put about on the comments of the vlog, when I said about having this sort of like little bench chat, which is currently floor chat today. Yep. Currently floor chat, was about the differences between our life in the UK and our life here. And yeah, what have been the stark things that we've noticed so far. And I kind of figured, rather than getting into the sort of costs and financial side of things, which is inevitably more expensive, don't get me wrong, we'll kind of cover that off in a more of a costs vlog, I suppose, at a later point in time. But if we talk more in the way of our lifestyle, first and foremost, because I guess that's where we have noticed the immediate difference between what life was like in the UK. Now, those of you that are in the UK and it is January, it is cold, it is dark, you can get out and get wrapped up, but you know, if that's your jam, as somebody that doesn't mind getting wrapped up and going out in the dark, in the cold, even in the rain, because let's face it, it can be a bit of a damp time as well, as far as the weather goes. That was not us. So we would pretty much hibernate until maybe February, end of February, beginning of March. And last year, I think the sun really never made an appearance until April last year. So yeah, we would mainly do things that were inside. So obviously that involved a lot of staying at home, doing things separate from one another in our own spaces in the house, or we would maybe go to the cinema or do something like that. But being here, like, we are still out. That you underestimate just how much the weather and the environment in that sense has an impact on your life. I mean, we've been out every weekend doing something, and not just theme parks. I mean, Sunday coming, we're going to Blue River to go and see manatees in the wild. You know, you saw us go for a drive to a Popco and go and see the gators in the wild. Like, there'll be so much else to do that's not just theme parks. So, you know, taking also kind of that bit, yes, we can go to them. But, and yeah, we have done. And that's it. We are getting out together as a family and spending more quality time together as us as a four and with friends, which is something that we didn't do very often in the UK. I will also testament that to some degree to the fact that we have made friends with people that have all got
kids of similar ages, a little bit younger, a little bit older, some of them. But back at home, our boys were the youngest, if you like, out of sort of our friendship groups. And inevitably, as their children got older and didn't necessarily wanted to go off and do their own thing with their parents and not necessarily be tied up to younger friends' kids, if that makes sense, we didn't get to see as many people as often, or it would just be the grown-ups, and it wasn't the same. So now the kids want to get out, they want to go see their friends, they want to go and do stuff all together as groups, which is something that they were not as keen on before, outside of really their closer cousins. So that is definitely a massive distinction. And that being able to be outside and the warmth of the temperature. I mean, you saw that video, we went to Clearwater. We went in the sea. Now, I didn't take and vlog the fact that we were in the sea, but we were actually in the sea, just laughing and jumping in the surf, jumping the waves. And we were like up to our necks in it, like properly in the sea. And it was blue and the sun was shining and the sand was white. And that's something we could do every weekend if we wanted. And I think for that reason and that reason alone, and the lifestyle side of things, this has been a massively positive move for us and our family together to be able to do that and have access to so much more of the outdoors and life beyond the inside of the house because of being locked up because of the weather. So yeah, that is a massive, massive distinction between life in the UK and life here, for sure. And I guess inevitably you feel, I do think that SAD, seasonal affective disorder, is a massive thing in the UK. It's struggle to get the motivation to do stuff in the dark and the cold and the stuff. And I do feel like here you are a bit, or me at least, and Mark and the kids, we're all brighter, happier people. And, I do think you have to attribute that somehow to the weather a little bit. And whilst that isn't the sole reason to move here, it's been like an indirect effect of being here, and one that we all love and don't take for granted. And every single day that we're outside doing something, we pinch ourselves and say, it's January, this is crazy. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, it's a bit shorter than last time when we were chatting about stuff, but that is just a little my snippet intake on one of the things that we've noticed instantly from being here. Yeah, but okay, I better crack on with this floor. So let's get this finished.
Great job. Sterling. Amazing.
So, women in this house, we do. Say that again.
I'll rephrase that, right. You need to get yourself a wife like mine that's capable of doing these sorts of things. However, she is extremely expensive. So there is a trade-off. Yeah.
That's why these things get done, because I have a vision, then we get the stuff for the vision, and then we make it happen.
How much was this flooring?
I think it was about $80. No, maybe 120.
Jeez, how can you get from 80 to 120?
I can't remember now.
That's a big number difference.
I think the 120 was for the bigger pack. I think it was less because we've got less squares.
So you used a bigger pack in it?
No. I only bought 9 squares because we'd only need 9 squares.
Okay.
You can check on Amazon. Please check, and then we can inform the vlog as to how much I'm costing.
I'll check and tell you how much my wife has spent today.
No, this was yesterday. No, the day before, because it was delivered yesterday. Look, he's not complaining because the house is coming together lovely. Okay, just to create some clarity around Mark's comments. It was $110 for the 12 tiles that I'm using to put in here. And now, You know, we had some matting down in the garage back in the UK, but it didn't have a rubber top like this. It was just a foam type stuff, and it was terrible. It dented and everything all the time. So the reason for buying this rubber topped one is that it is geared more towards like using it for gym type stuff. So I'm hoping it will be a bit more durable for using it as a home gym. So yeah, $110 for 12 squares or 48 square foot. But obviously I'm chopping a little bit off these, so it's not quite that much. Okay, so I might have been getting a bit warm in my jumper, but the flooring is now down. Let's show you. There we go, big reveal. Woo! There is the gym matting all on the floor now. Now I have to go and get the bit. So next on the list is to get all the bits out the garage for the home gym. I'm going to bring in the workbench and the other bits that we've got lingering around. Okay, so that is all kind of my sort of gymmy stuff, which as you can see down there, can't complain. It also means I've got no excuses now. I've got all my stuff to be able to use, and now I've got to start using it. The thing I will say is I have seen on Amazon like a little organisational unit which I'll be able to use to store all of this a bit tidier. So yeah, we need to speak to Marky about that. May have to come next month. But either way, I'm happy. I've got space to be able to use in here. It's not massive, but it is big enough for me to use for the things that I do anyway. And the dogs are obviously keen to get involved.
And just as you can see the sun setting in the distance, it's the end. And the sun is setting on another weekly vlog. We are just popping out for a very family orientated evening with friends. So not for the vlog, I'm afraid, but hopefully you've enjoyed following along with us this week as we've been unpacking the boxes and trying to make the house look like home. We're getting there, we're nearly there, so hopefully next week we'll be in a place to give you a full tour around where we have merged our UK home into our American one and our Floridian one.
Yeah. Well,
So-
downstairs definitely looks more like a house now.
It does. Not so much like a warehouse anymore.
Garage is still a bit.
Yeah, garage has still got a work in progress. So yeah, if you've got any questions about anything, or you just want to chat with us, please drop them in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for following along with us as we continue our life here in Florida, and thank you for being so supportive of the boys and Mark and I. We really appreciate it, and all of you, and we will see you in the next week, in the next vlog. So
Can you just about see me?
yeah, just about. Well, I'm stretched
Not
out,
that far away.
but we will see you in the next vlog. Bye for now.